So I want to hear your theory. What's your theory?
So, Okay, so here's my not Sheen theory, okay?
Got it.
My not Sheen theory is this is free-form conversation, normally ranging for about an hour long. I think Charlie has been told a certain amount of things to say and not say to keep himself very carefully in the box at the moment. Because Charlie, believe it or not, is probably running out of money. And Charlie is probably not able to really raise enough funds to keep things the way he lives. And I think if he says some things in a podcast, particularly with friends when he's loose talking, it could result in some bad things. But I don't know.
I don't know either, but I do know this, that his publicist, what's his name? Jeff something. I'll have to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
He told me that he won't do it at all, even with people he knows. It's just it's just something he doesn't do. But he didn't really get into why. Oh, it's Jeff Ballard. So when I looked him up, there's a website to click on. His publicist doesn't even have a website. I called his house, and
wow.
And he just answered the phone, hello, like any normal person. I'm like, hi, is this Jeff? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you still represent Charlie Sheen as a publicist? Yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. We'd like to have him on our show. And I told him about it because I wanted to talk to him about his year of recovery, which he posted up a picture of his coin on social media. And he wrote, so this happened today, a fabulous moment in my renewed journey. So he's obviously open about that. I wanted to talk to him about his Australian speaking tour that apparently was successful, but I don't know. I can't really find anything about it except that I guess it's sold out. And, what's new? It's totally like normal questions that anyone might want to know, but he's keeping it low key.
Yeah.
But so to your point, the fact that he may be running low on money. I mean, when your publicist doesn't even have a real website and he answers the phone from his home, how much publicity is really happening?
Right.
Not much. And then his commercial representation is in England.
Yeah.
Because they were the first people I contacted, and they're like, oh, we only do, commercial representation for fee.
Right.
And they're the ones who said, oh, you should try to find, his manager or publicist. So,
yeah,
it was very easy to get a hold of these people though. Like, I mean, if anyone wants to give Charlie Sheen some work, it's like, it has money. It's like, it's on, I guess. As long as it's not a podcast.
I mean, I just want to mention that Denise Richards' horses need help. And, Charlie needs condoms. Horses. So make sure.
Oh, right. Because she was, sued for, by the stables for, like $50,000 for a stable fee.
Yeah.
And she was asking Charlie to help pay that. I mean, I would think that she's probably better off than he is.
How?
I mean, why wouldn't she be? She never got into, she hasn't worked, I guess, in a long time, but, she obviously gets, a good amount of child support, but
yeah,
she's got a certain level of lifestyle to maintain, I suppose, too.
Can you imagine when that kid turns 18, how it's going to be? What's she going to do?
Yeah, right. She should ask Martin. Oh, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, or Emilio, or the other brother who no one knows.
Yeah.
There's another guy too, right? No one knows.
Yeah.
He's probably the unknown brother is probably doing better than all of them.
Yeah. He's the healthy one.
He's the healthy one.
I like Emilio at now.
Yeah, he's a stable older brother, you know. He never really got into trouble.
No.
Married Paula Abdul for some odd reason.
Yeah.
That didn't last. But that's cool.
No.
I mean, that's had a reflection on him. Maybe his bad taste in women, but that doesn't count.
No.
Because
I love that film with him and Charlie where they play garbage guys. That film's brilliant.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Men at Work? Men at Work?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, that
cool.
film.
Yeah, it's great.
Didn't Emilio write that or something?
I think he directed it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's
guessing.
right. Yeah.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe we're just making shit up.
Coach Bombay.
Yeah, they should do a reboot of the Breakfast Club where all of the adults have kids.
Yes.
And they're dropping off their kids at detention. And
they're all still alive too.
I know.
It's
that's
remarkable.
And
they all survived.
Principal.
Yes.
Charlie could be the principal.
Yes.
So it's really just like the adults, like Judd. They can just have the cameo roles of dropping their kids off at detention. But then the big deal is that Sheen is the principal. So it's just like it's a reboot or a remake in a sense. But you've got the stars from the first movie as the parents. And they're not really in the movie much. But it's just these cameo roles. But then it's Sheen, and Sheen's like through the whole thing as the hard ass principal. I think we could pitch that.
The hypocritical principal.
Right. And that'd be rad. It could even be like a shot by shot remake, like same dialogue, everything, just reshoot it with a different cast. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't have to you wouldn't be trying to make it better. You would just be doing it over in this like a generation later. I think that's a fine idea.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
I would too, and it's such a relevant film. Really, it will always be. We'll always all feel that way at that age, and we'll always all be those people. All of us.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it would be interesting to keep the script and not change it and see how it works in modern day, because I don't think there would have to be anything really changed.
No,
like all the references, because there's not any specific references to anything like that's like current, or even back then. It was just how kids feel.
Yeah. They don't even mention products or anything. It's simply just how kids feel.
Yeah.
Like there are no labels or anything. There are no brands. You could just keep it the same way.
Yeah, I think the pitfall would be with the music. Because today's music is such garbage. And you couldn't do throwback soundtrack. That would be ridiculous. But I mean, it's possible. You'd have to curate the music, because there's a lot of music isn't there? I don't know. I guess not. There's not really a lot of music. There's some, so that would have to be chosen really carefully. So, because that could either make it really good or destroy it easily.
Yeah, it could
music
either make
so important.
It could either make it not Sheen or Sheen.
Exactly. We haven't done a Charlie Sheen update in a long time, and this is one that got very close to actually being Sheen, but it's not Sheen, unfortunately.
No, it's not Sheen. So
wow,
a few interesting things have happened. I mean, seems like there's this HBO film coming out, and this is a really fast turnover for a political story to be made into a film. But it's an HBO film called Brexit, and it's got Benedict Cumberbatch, and it's basically implying that some type of tool was used to suppress voters and to gather the voters that they wanted to get the Brexit vote to leave.
Is it the Russians?
No, it's just a political guy working in the back, you know.
Okay, yeah. There's that theory too that like everything today, it's always the Russians. Like that Brexit was really just a Russian troll.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. But
it's fantastic.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds really interesting.
And then, like, Alex Winter, who he played Bill from Bill and Ted.
Yes.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. He's made a couple of movies that have come out. One is called The Trust Machine, which is about the blockchain, but the other one is called The Panama Papers. And it's about the Panama Papers leak. And, I mean, really, whenever, like, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, like, I see a lot of these sort of, like, you know, conspiracy theorists, sort of left fringe people post things about, you know, military spending and how that could be used to house all these people. Well, sure it could, but the fucking $33 trillion that is not being circulated into our tax revenue that's being held in these offshore accounts is really where our infrastructure and where our sort of, you know, money needs to come from. And it's a very small amount of people that's doing this, you know?
Right. It's called the Offshore Magic Circle. Is the organization. It's like a set of law firms that specialize in tax havens and in Bermuda, Dublin, Singapore, Luxembourg,
Cayman,
right? The Channel Islands. So there are these little places, and Dublin is crazy because it's like you think like Dublin, but they have really weird tax laws in Ireland, like almost none, and so people can hide their money really easily. And have been for a long time. I know that. So this leak that you're talking about, it was like 11.5 million documents that go all the way back to the 70s.
Right.
And they were leaked to a German journalist 3 years ago.
And then a whole team took over in secret and started to work on it and go to work on these papers. And one journalist has died as a result of it. She was killed in a car bomb.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So it's It's interesting. There's in cases like this where it's leaks of shady financial transactions that go back, decades. There tends not to be as much criticism as other kinds of leaks get, like political stuff, because, like as you said, this kind of thing it directly affects like the entire world's economy, and there's all this money that's being taken out of circulation, and it gives a false read on like everything economic, because where the money just disappears. Right. It once existed and now it seems to be gone. And so economic policies between and in countries can be wrong, like without people knowing they're wrong when they enact certain policies, and then that money pops back up again, and it can really mess things up.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. The Magic Circle. What a name, too.
The Magic Circle.
Huh. Crazy.
And then, these are the two main issues that I see, that we really need to focus on, is that, which won't ever change, and there's no fucking bill coming around that's, going to change anything anyway. And then also, voter, campaign finance, man.
Oh yeah, that's ridiculous too.
That's 70% of our issue with democracy in this fucking country is campaign finance.
Before we get into that,
right.
But before we get into that, there was another release of documents called the Paradise Papers that occurred about a year ago, and they're still coming out. There's it's a bigger release.
Wow.
Same thing.
Yeah.
They actually released two other German reporters from the same newspaper, and along with, and this time they released this stuff to these two guys and another 380 journalists at the same time.
Yeah.
So they made it was a much broader and bigger leak and disclosure, and far more countries involved too. It's but it seems to have gotten a little bit, for whatever reason, less coverage. I guess because people they don't care, because if it doesn't necessarily seem like it applies to you in your life, and you hear news about these
well, it's not just that. It's not just that. I mean, there's no fucking way of fixing it. How are we fixing this? No one's offering a way of fixing it. They're just telling us it's happening.
Right, and oftentimes with these kinds of things, the story turns into being about the leak itself and not the substance of what's in the documents. Because that seems to be the sexy thing, the I don't know, the hacking or the leaking or the disclosure itself. Not in who cares what's in it? It's just that this happened, and so the actual substance of the documents gets kind of overlooked. In some ways, because it seems to be too complicated to understand. And like I said, how does it affect me? I don't care. But but it's just crazy the amount of people or companies that they found information on, Nike, Poker Stars, which is an online betting group. Some company called Glencore, which is a English Swiss commodity trading and mining company, V2V Bank, which is a Kremlin-owned bank, and then in the countries, it's nuts. It's like Algeria, Angola, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, Nigeria, Uganda, India, Indonesia, Japan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Austria, France, Greece, Ireland, Lithuania, Serbia, Spain, Switzerland, Turkey, the United Kingdom, the United States, Ukraine, Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia. It's everywhere. Like every country. Like every big country that like Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia. No, the response has just been like quiet. Even though this is a bigger and more widespread disclosure than what was in the Panama Papers, it's because there's speculation that it's because it doesn't seem to be overtly like illegal. Like it's just taking advantage of existing laws. So it may not be illegal, but it's like there are obviously ethical questions, and people get really confused when you're talking about ethical questions because everyone speeds in their car, you know, occasionally or whatever, or everyone like, you know, steals the pen from the bank. So you get these like shady areas of ethics, which it's not really illegal. It doesn't really affect me. So people think it doesn't really affect them. So no one really cares. For somebody who did care, Bernie Sanders. But he's too old, man. And I've been talking about that.
He's also playing too much of a game for me. I mean, unless you fucking stand up and say your entire party is corrupt and you got fucked out because it's corrupt.
I am not a Democrat. I am not a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. You should come out to the lake house. Like, he's got a great house in Vermont. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like, it's cool that he's like, you know, into it, like, or talking about it. That's fine. Like, that's great. He should. But for a guy who spent, you know, the last 30 years in government office, and before that he was like the mayor of Burlington, Vermont. I mean, the guy's been a politician from like since he was a fairly young guy. Why in the world would he wait this long to? I'm going to run for president. Like, dude, you're 77 years old. You know, if you win in 2020, he'll be like 79 years old. At the end of his first term, he'll be 83. Then if he ran again, he'd be like 87 years old if he completed his 2 terms in office, if he got elected. It's absurd. Like, it's just nuts. Like, and it's not even saying bad things about old people. It's just that that's a lot of responsibility, man. Like, and
so I had a debate. Other thing is, it's like,
go ahead.
everything that Obama did, like he had no luck getting any of his bills through because Senate is completely, you know, Congress is completely stagnant. They blocked everything. So what's the point, you know?
Yeah. This has something to do with the campaign finance thing we're going to talk about in a minute.
Right. Right.
So, all right. So I had a debate with someone about this Bernie Sanders, and I'm like, he's too old. Like, it's not even that I disagree with his policy positions. And I got all this like heat, like, what, you're like, don't like old people? And I'm like, no, like I just told you how old he was and how old he's going to be if he eventually gets into office. And so I said, listen, I'm not necessarily opposed to it. Like, people can do what they want. That's fine. But he better have the best running mate ever. And if he picks the best running mate ever, then that person should just run instead.
Yeah.
Like, he should pick a running mate and then say, "You gonna run instead." Like, because the chances are pretty good that he would die in office or become incapacitated and couldn't do it anymore, because the average healthy lifespan for people, not like the lifespan, but healthy lifespan, is really into like the mid to late 60s before people generally start having, serious or chronic health problems. And he's 10 years beyond that. And he's in good health. That's cool. But people are fooling themselves if they think that a guy who's going to be approaching like 80 years old is going to be up for the challenge. I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous.
So why is Congress stagnant? And like on either side of the aisle? Because?
Well, Newt in 1995, Mr. Gingrich kind of made it a point that being a senator was mostly about getting reelected. And that
which means it's mostly about raising money.
Correct. And sucking dick on K-string. Right,
that too. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about dick.
Yeah, but that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
Right.
To fucking raise money. You're going to K Street and you're mingling with really fucking rich ex-congressmen. You know?
Ex-cons too.
Congressmen. Yeah.
Who spent a lot of time in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are no prohibitions on lobbyists and their criminal backgrounds. That really doesn't apply. You can't get a job at McDonald's with a felony, but you can certainly, if you've got the right contacts, become a lobbyist for the oil industry or the dildo industry or wherever. And you're getting like $1 million salaries and just wining and dining members of the government who want your money and want that's it. So that's a lot of blowjobs.
But if you're spending 90% of your time as a government official doing this, you're not actually doing your fucking job. So
right.
This creates a real problem.
True. Yeah, that's true. So then you have these the policies that people run on their platforms when they say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this, this, and this if I get elected," and the donors, they're like, "Yes, cool." Like, they don't really care about the policy platforms because they know that what really is important is their money. So they don't care what politicians say on campaigns because they understand that people understand that most of that stuff is not true anyway, or even if or it's all wishful thinking, or it's what they want to be able to do. So they don't care. But in the secret meetings that they have where the money is being exchanged, that's when the truth comes out. And the truth is that whoever, Exxon, is saying, okay, we're giving like $1 million to this organization over here that's going to run ads for you to help get you elected, and we're going to pool a bunch of individual donors together. So they're going to be look like individual donors. I think the amount is like $2,400 a person that you can legally donate to a campaign. So they're going to line up all of these people who actually work for them to donate these individual amounts, these individual small donor amounts that people are super excited about. Yeah, we only take small money. But the truth is in a lot of those cases, what's behind those small donors is the big corporation. So the meeting goes like this, here's the money to get you reelected, and we understand that you have to say this, but when you get into office, because we're putting you there, here's what you're really going to do. Because if you don't do what we say you're going to do, you're never going to get money again from us or other people, and your career is over. And even and we're not going to hire you to be a lobbyist when you get out of office. So if you want to get elected and earn your stripes to become a business person when you're done in Congress, then here's what you need to do. And because a lot of these people get into office, they're not necessarily wealthy when they get elected. A lot of them aren't, which is kind of interesting. But as soon as they get into public office and are towing that line regarding what their donors want them to do, they're set. And they know that. And everybody knows that. It's like an open secret.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So what can we do about it? Yeah, right. Because why would they vote against their own interests? People talk about people voting against their own interests.
Here's the thing, right? I mean, Pelosi's going to introduce the bill that's going to try to reform that. Now, you can argue all you want as a senator against, it is against your own interests. It's against, what you've been doing since 1995 anyway, and well, I don't know how to be a governor really anymore. I don't know how to do anything but go wine and dine,
Right.
But the truth is unless you're serious, this is the only way to go. There's no other way. You're not a government right now. You're not a functioning government. You are a WWE, main event show at best whenever you're on TV. At best.
Right. Yeah.
You're fake punching and you're throwing chairs and you're pushing people through tables and you're yelling a bunch. And that's all you're really doing. Because then you're going off to K Street and it doesn't even matter. So, either fix it or this is just complete ridiculousness. And so this will expose the people who are not willing. That's for sure.
Yeah, but but we as individuals, because that's the problem. Everyone is an individual, and even if you get a bunch of people together to say, for instance, protest Starbucks on Oceanfront Walk in Venice, right? And what we're gonna do is get a bunch of people together, and we're going to be a unit and bigger than ourselves, and we're going to make signs and chant and yell and say you shouldn't be here. No one cares. No one cares. Because who might care is a person going to get coffee, who's like, who the fuck are these people? They're annoying, and why are they yelling at me? I'm just going to try to go and get some coffee. Because the people inside, the employees, and why would they care? Unless you're actually in the restaurant causing a problem, well, then that's a different story. Then they can say, get the fuck out of here. You're causing a problem. That's not that doesn't do anything. It just reflects badly on the person holding the sign and yelling, even if they're right. Like, that's why, like, and that's what I mean, like, with these big, obviously big problems, like with government, even a big group of people don't really measure up to the power of all of that money. It's, so I was talking about being more creative regarding the Starbucks thing, where people should just go in, quietly order water and take up space and not leave. Like, and just, not buy anything and just take up space as a form of, like, protest. So what happens is people come in and get their coffee and they can't stay. And they're like, and they get tired of it, and they're like, this place sucks. We're not coming back. I think it'd be more effective.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, the people working there that you're sort of, like, yelling and causing a ruckus and have a bad day, they don't have anything to do with corporate situation going on. They have nothing
No,
to
they
do
just have a crappy job. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And really, what you're doing by protesting is you're asking the press to cover you. So you're basically going out there and being a fame whore, making loud noise to be famous, hoping that some stupid, ignorant journalist will pick up on this and write something, and that it might have an effect with corporate, stocks or something, and that might cause Starbucks to leave. You're fucking kidding me.
Well, somebody, I said this won't. I told somebody that it wouldn't work, and they responded by saying, "Well, it worked up in I forget where, in like Tacoma, Washington, or somewhere like." And I said, "Well, what was the situation there?" He's like, "Oh, it was like a racism thing." I think that might have been the store that kicked the black people out, where they had to have their meeting. A few months later, their afternoon shutdown, where they had a sensitivity training meeting. And I guess there were people who were protesting outside about the actual employees in that store being racist. And apparently they closed that store. And I'm like, that's totally different. And then Snapchat was brought up, and I said, nobody protesting the leasing or purchasing of buildings, like that didn't have, like that was actually a better version of a protest, because you're protesting the company itself because of the things that the company itself is doing. And even then, all those demonstrations weren't the thing that made them change their course and leave the area. It was their stock valuation dropping because less people were using Snapchat. It had nothing to do with Venice. It had zero to do with Venice. It had everything to do with the worldwide market of Snapchat users that decided that they didn't like it. Like, that's it. Like, it didn't have anything to do with where they were headquartered. Like, no one cares. And it's really interesting that people, like, choose not to get that or pretend they don't get that. But that goes right back to the thing about campaign finance reform. Like, if people can't understand a simple concept like marching around in the street yelling won't change anything, then certainly, like, marching around in the street yelling about campaign finance reform isn't going to work either. Like, to even less degree. Like, and people aren't even doing that. Like, that was the other thing I was trying to point out, was that, like, if you're gonna organize like a protest about Starbucks, there are so many other richer targets that you could do that to. Like so many that have been around for so much longer. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and they're like, well, I get my coffee at mom and pop stores. I said, well, the coffee itself is corporate. You understand this? Like, no matter where you buy it, and like, in the fact that you're buying it at a restaurant that's owned by a single owner, you're not really protesting the coffee. I mean, you should be protesting the coffee. Like, and they're like, what? Yeah, every cup of coffee that you ever drink is it's like, you know, blood coffee. You know, these poor people living on these compounds for like room and board, picking individual coffee beans because coffee beans ripen individually, and so it's just constant like finding and picking these beans
in the hot sun for nothing.
Yeah. It's not like
fair trade. It's not like I like fair trade. Yeah.
Oh, and like groundwork, right?
Yeah.
They were held up to be as an example, and so I looked them up, and I don't have anything against this company, but they're headquartered in North Hollywood. They've had a store in Venice for a long time, but then I looked into like their practices, and they have abandoned organic coffee, and they've for years because they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford to maintain that standard. They're like, we've got to eat. This is like an interview with the CEO, and he's like, no, well, we've got to eat. We have to pay our bills, and you know, and feed our kids. So we made a choice that we like organic coffee, but we can't say that it's only organic coffee because we need money. So it doesn't take very much to research to really find out the truth that it's all just advertising, just like the politicians. Corporations are no different, and you know, they're all out to manipulate you into spending your money or donating your money to your favorite Bernie Sanders clone or new super cool coffee house. Same thing. Wow, what a cheerful topic we're discussing.
Right?
Pieces of shit.
Wonderful.
I know, we go from like rejected by Sheen to a bunch of financial bullshit off the coast of Ireland. Like, what is going on here? Yeah. Yay.
Yeah.
So how's having the place to yourself? It must be great.
Oh my god. It's great, but I've got a whole bunch of other do before tomorrow. I've got to pack. I've got to wrap a couple of presents.
That's right, because you're leaving too.
I've got to go to the bank really fast to drop off some cash in my account so that I can get back when I get back on the 27th.
Yeah, it'd be good to be able to get back.
Yeah. I need a lift from the airport. Yeah.
Oh, you gonna lift to the airport? Wait, when are you leaving?
I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I need a lift to the airport, but I also need a lift back.
Yeah.
So I need to put some money in my account, you know, just like a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have that much anyway.
Christmas in
and
Reno.
then I'm off to Reno for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be working on Christmas.
Ah.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I will actually be getting off work like Christmas Eve at 12:30 a.m. So I will really be leaving work right when Christmas begins, and that'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because I'm working overnight.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Yeah. And then I also get to work on Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve, too. Which should be interesting. Yeah, helping the people. So
right on.
It's super. It's kind of wild. It's my new place of employment is up in the Hollywood Hills. Maybe I'll run into Sheen up there, and you convince him to.
You might.
Maybe I could do a secret recording and put him on the podcast anyway, because in California, only one party needs to know it's being recorded.
Right.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like, guess what, Sheen? You are on a podcast.
Sheen.
That'd be rad.
You did get podcasted, Sheen, winning. So, also, I just want to shout out to Turtle and to Britt, because they're having their baby today. Britt is 9 centimeters dilated at the moment in the hospital, so ready to go.
That's a big 9 centimeters. That's over 9,000 micrometers.
That's gaping 9,000.
Wow, that's cool. Congratulations.
Yay! Little Lyra is coming into the world. Lyra. Or Lyra. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's Lyra. So, yeah.
Lyra?
Lyra? I don't know.
Lyra? No. Let's see. Any housekeeping. Let's see. What else is briefly in news? Oh, Sam Harris, our favorite atheist, slow-breathing podcaster.
Yeah.
He has decided to exit his Patreon page. Because he thinks that people are being treated unfairly. But the people that are being treated or who are being deplatformed are really kind of gross. Like, just kind of hate-filled, disgusting people. But he's kind of into that, even though he tries to separate himself from that group.
That kind of made didn't it? It's kind of like, that's the controversy, so that's what makes you.
Yeah. But it's interesting, he abandoned like $65,000 a month. Apparently he didn't need the money. He's a trust fund baby, by the way, too. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that, no.
I forget who he's heir to, but he was born with a platinum spoon in his mouth. So yeah, some housekeeping. Let's see what else is new. Oh, so I found out. I didn't realize the actress in our on the YouTube version of our feminist porn podcast. Our last episode, which is Stroya. I didn't know who that was, and so I did some research about her, and it turns out she really is kind of a feminist pornographer in the most meaningful way. She's like very concerned about sex workers' rights and the hierarchy of sex workers and how they think about each other, and and
sure.
stuff like that. So I have reached out to her. She's clearly very popular as well, probably much more popular than Sheen. But you can't get good guests without asking. So I've reached out to her to see if she would be willing to come on and discuss her point of view. And anything else?
Sam
this is
Harris,
episode 33.
Sam Harris came from a Quaker background. Yeah.
A Quaker background. Really?
Was
I incorrect?
Son of actor Berkeley Harris and TV producer Susan Harris, who created Golden Girls.
Oh, that's right. He's a Golden Girls kid. Right. Yeah, he's got all that Golden Girls money. That's right. I knew it was something. Yeah. That's so funny to me. He's a product of the Golden Girls empire.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
All right, man. What episode are we at?
Episode 33. Woo! What?
Woo!
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas. I don't think we'll be doing another episode before the New Year, so we're going to close out the year with episode 33 of the V2V podcast with Shorts and Aurelius, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Bye-bye.